When unconscious beliefs are not brought to the forefront of our minds to be looked at and released, the past replays itself over and over. Then it is more like you are being a robot. Getting up in the morning, brushing your teeth, getting ready for work, going through the motions. How many of us get up in the morning, sit up in bed and ask, what is the nature of reality? I do not even want to brush my teeth until I get a handle on this. Instead, it's more like you click into gear, and then maybe during your lunch hour or sometime at work, you'll have some questions come in, like, what am I doing here? What is the purpose of any of this? Often, these questions get brushed aside by all the things you think you have to do. The so-called practical things get in the way, investigating more deeply. But you can't get to a state of peace until you have let go of the beliefs that are blocking it from awareness. We need a willingness to heal our mind, to see where we say no to peace. In fact, we only need willingness. We do not need intelligence. We do not need lots of money. We do not need lots of skills and abilities. All the things that the world would say are essential. In my life, I did not have a lot of money, and I did not feel like I had a lot of skills. But I know I was very, very willing to be shown, to let the doors be opened. If you come to God with willingness and sincerity, then watch out. It will knock your socks off. You will arrive at an experience of such peace, freedom, and clarity you had never imagined or even thought was possible. You will truly know who you are. Like we read in previous chapter, the ego is bent on outcomes and form, on setting specific external goals, and then striving to achieve them. In doing that, we're still not happy. Then the quest becomes, what is next? The game of I will be happy when ... goes on and on. Eventually, we realize how powerful it is that peace is just a decision. Why not have peace of mind be our goal? It's not in our conscious awareness that peace is always there. Rather, it is buried deep within our minds, covered over by beliefs and attachments. Therefore, our way to peace must always involve the uncovering of beliefs, a very rewarding undertaking. Someone asked me this question. You say we all get what we want. I have a friend that would not agree with you. She is 45 years old, and she has always wanted a husband and a child, and she has never got it. She is praying, and she is praying. And we say to her, leave it up to God. But you say that we get things even if it's our ego that wishes it. So what would you say to her? Whatever seems to be going on in specifics, on the surface, in our hearts, we never really ask for things. We're really asking for an experience or a state of mind. You could ask your friend questions like, what is your experience? And if she said, well, I'm lonely, I want a husband and a child because I want something to fill my life up. I want a feeling of joining, of connection. I want to share my life with someone. I want to share the joys of being a parent, and so on and so forth. And I'm lonely. She could start to see that there is a belief in lack in her mind. It is this belief that leads to the experience of loneliness or feeling isolated or feeling empty, unfulfilled, whatever words she would come up with. She may express things like, okay, I'm feeling empty and a bit alone and unfulfilled. The way her life and the world look for her is a reflection of those feelings. When we feel this emptiness, isolation, loneliness, it is not the way it looks in the world. It is not our circumstances of being married or single that is causing us to feel this way. We are feeling it because that is where our state of consciousness is at. We are feeling that way because of our desire to follow ego beliefs that tell us we are capable of feeling lonely or empty or isolated. We always get what we ask or pray for. What that means is we are always getting exactly what we are aligning our mind with. The form of our life is simply an outpicturing of our inner beliefs and desires, bringing witness to an inner state of mind without exception. So this woman who does not want to feel lonely could start working more inwardly to cultivate the experience of a relationship with the spirit within, releasing the feelings, looking at the beliefs, looking at the thoughts that are running through her mind on a daily basis. And she eventually would say, the good news is that I'm not a victim. I'm not powerless based on those thoughts. In fact, we are never powerless in the face of our beliefs because we can change them in an instant. She can look at how this is demonstrated in others. All of us have known or met people who are very, very happy and joyful. Some of them are what we would call single, and some of them are what we would call married. Some of them have children. Some of them don't have children. This shows us that happiness, joy, and love are not circumstance dependent. Nothing is really dependent on the circumstances. Sometimes people can say, even when I'm in a crowd of people, I feel alone. And sometimes when they're on a walk in the forest and they are all by themselves, they feel such joy and connection, like they feel connected to the whole universe and everyone in it. Sometimes people used to say to me, yes, David, we see that you are very happy, but that's just because of your circumstances. If you were married and if you had children, and if you had a mortgage, and if you had a boss, let's see how happy you would be then. Well, it would be really strange if God would set up a world where some people could have fortunate circumstances and other people could have unfortunate circumstances. Wouldn't it be much more reasonable to think that whatever world we are perceiving is there by our own selection? We have selected our life as we know it. We built it. It is like the little child with the building blocks, making a castle making a little fort or something, building and then looking at what has been built. There is really no point in lamenting circumstances. They are there by decision. They have, on an unconscious level, been chosen. Before we were born, we choose everything in our movie the way we preferred, even if it seems undesirable to us. On some level, our ego self wanted it that way. And, of course, this is why you can learn to choose again. It isn't like you are locked into circumstances, but by choosing peace more and more consistently, we get a whole new experience of all circumstances and situations. When the woman who feels lonely focuses on the experience she wants, or core desire, more than the external circumstances, she will find present connection and fulfillment, and therefore peace of mind.
A good example to see how we can get locked in, to a certain thing that we think we don't have, we think it's wrong, we did the wrong thing, or we're in the wrong situation, or something is wrong and we want something different. And then this is like the way we can trace it back to see what we actually want. It's not a form change, but our minds are so hooked that the form has to change. It's like an immediate, response to anything. We have to change the form. We want something different. But I think he talks about that somewhere in the course, how, you can't but be in the right place or something at the right time. And we don't see that it's a fear behind it, that it's, a terror of this miracle moment, which is one of the themes in the book. This moment is your miracle. It's not a miracle in changing the form. But the Spirit is so gentle with us because He knows our willingness, because He knows in our heart we want only Him. We want only the truth. So in our habitual, attempt to change form, He uses that. And He brings in little miracles in there so that we can remember Him.